Hello everyone, we're gonna cover all 5 matches of the Amarriner Cup 1 Finals Round 1. Now, these finals, they're like in this round robin settings, which I'm not very familiar on how that setting works, but it's kind of like a group points kind of thing setting. And so we have 5 players, and that's, you can't do an elimination stage if you have an uneven, or if it's not a multiple of two or something like that. It has to be 2, 4, 8, to have the elimination bracket. But here you have 5 finalists, so they set up this round robin thing. And so there's going to be 2 rounds, of which each player is going to play 2 matches in each round. And so they're going to play 2 times on the same map and then 2 times on the same map, but against other players of that same group. So that in the end, each one plays 4 matches and they end up playing against each of the players in the round robin. Our finalists for this round, or I guess for the round, the finalists of the of the Amarriner Cup 1 are Voice of Akasha, Rip, Incuggarch, Talose, and this player that shows up here with question marks, but actually has, I think, Chinese symbols. I'll have to put it on screen. So that's our 5 players. They're the tippy top of our standard, community, our standard mode players. You got 5 beasts here. They've all beaten other very, very strong players, and now we got our last 5 to determine who is, the best, who's the number 1 of these 5. So we're gonna start with this one first. So we got Rip and Incuggarch. This map is called Vainglory, and it's a mixed base map. You got your 2 base here, and then you got a 1 base all alone over here, kind of enclosed by these mountains. And then you have this 1 base with an airport over here. And as I always say, you have your 2 bases, like your strong side, your 1 base, 1 airport, because you have an airport, it's like your medium strength side. And then if there's a lone base, if it doesn't have an airport, then that's your weak side, and it could potentially be overrun. In a mixed base setup, your 1 base all alone can sometimes run the risk of getting overrun. So let's change these direction, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this map. You have 2 comm towers, so you have 1 here and another 1 here, so each player will potentially have 2 comm towers. The HQs are kind of in the middle, but yeah, there's gonna be fighting all over the place. Over here, because of these 2 interactions. Over here, because of these interactions. Fighting over here because of this interaction. Over here also, over these 2 cities. So there's gonna be all over the place. Let's get right into this one. So we're gonna start off, your classic little infantry capturing. Although Incuggarch already skipping 1 city, either this one or this one, but it's going here. We'll see where that penguin will go. Same for Rip here. And I said, so it's gonna go here. And everything okay. Same here for Rip. Same cities, they're like mirroring the capture game. But let's see, pay close attention to these cities over here, because I've seen these are very contested. They seem like they're right next to the base, but they get very contested very fast. And so we got our first vehicle. You got our tank from Incuggarch from the 2 base side. So an aggressive opening, let's say. No? Because if you open tank on your 1 base, it's more like defensive, and tank on your 2 base, it's more like aggressive. If you want to put it in those terms. They're both going for this city over here. It looks like Rip is gonna go for this one. And another tank here from Incuggarch. I think... I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go back a few turns. I think Rip didn't make a tank earlier. Let's see. So here... No. Oh yeah, look at that. So Rip could have made a tank here. He had 10,000. He could have made a tank and 2 infantry. Say, for example, here a tank. But he decided not to. He decided to make just infantry. I'm gonna skip ahead. No, he decided to make another infantry and saved up some funds. Made a tank in response. Here we got the tank chain that we already saw from Incuggarch. And so now Rip is gonna have 14,000. But he kind of decided not to go for the first tank, just to get more infantry out, I think, which is, you know, something that you can always consider. So maybe getting a tank out super fast doesn't really achieve anything, like it doesn't get any damage in, and you're maybe better off just making more infantry to get more cities or get contested cities, you know, earlier. So maybe that's what Rip was thinking. And because the funds weren't enough to make another tank, Rip is gonna be like behind on tank count. He's gonna have 2 tanks versus 2 tanks, and then he's gonna have another tank. So he decided to make a recon. I'm gonna make tank recon. Let's see what this recon can achieve. They're both going for these cities over here and the sides. Incuggarch's gonna bring these tanks. Well, brings this one here, sitting on this silo, kind of like pointing at this comm tower, saying like, you're not gonna get this comm tower. And this tank is backing it up, although, I mean, there's no tank here from Rip. So Rip is gonna need a tank here, ASAP. And it looks like Incuggarch is gonna get this city, while Rip is not, probably. But we'll have to see. Also, Rip much later to this one than Incuggarch, I think. Oh no, never mind. It's this one right here. So Rip's going for this one, and Incuggarch, it's this one right here. So Rip is gonna go here, but you got this tank pointing at that infantry, so I think Rip's gonna have to make a tank, but I'm not sure you can defend it though. It's like 1 turn away from this also. So yeah, here we got the tank, and this infantry actually not gonna go for the comm tower, just gonna sit here kind of to block this tank from attacking this infantry here. And if it attacks here, then the tank can smack it back. And this recon gonna go in this direction over here. Incuggarch is gonna interrupt over here. We have no comm towers yet. Oh yeah, we got one. One for Incuggarch only. And we're gonna go for another interrupt. And another interrupt. Incuggarch is gonna send this penguin to capture here, boldly in front of the tank, and makes a tank to cover it. And has also this tank here. So this tank is like covering all of this here and here. It's like has multiple purposes. And it's gonna sit the tank on this comm tower to prevent Rip from starting a capture, and it's also backed up by this one. So this tank is a little bit overloaded, let's say, you know? Has too many responsibilities right now. So actually Incuggarch sends a, yeah. So I'd send the penguin to interrupt here, and Rip is gonna send an infantry and finish it off. So I need a tank to finish off this infantry. It is in range of this one. And it's not gonna start this capture. Oh, and smacks this tank with this one right here. But this is tricky because attacking there is from a forest, and Incuggarch is gonna be able to like take this one out, put a new one, take it out. Got some fighting over here. Rip doesn't have any of the 2 comm towers. Well, I mean, I'm not sure this one to who it goes, if to the 2 base player or the 1 base player. This one's like really contested. This one for sure goes to this area, but Incuggarch is gonna try to delay as much as possible. Rip from getting it. So we got a kill there. And we got a tank. We got our first copter by Incuggarch here, and a mech. And it's actually going to abandon the comm tower. So probably going to leave Rip to get it. Rip has both of these cities, while Incuggarch has only one. And oof, doesn't get the kill. I think with the comm tower it's a kill. And takes out this infantry for free. He's gonna start staring at this comm tower. Really wants to get it, and yeah, this city. I don't think Rip is gonna ever get that city now. He's gonna start the comm tower cap, and has a lot of tanks here. Investing a lot here on the 1 base 1 airport side. Makes another tank here on the 2 base side, and pulls back the recon. I don't think this recon shot at anything. Maybe I'm wrong. So we also got some stuff here going on in the middle, but yeah, no fighting yet. Incuggarch has both of these. Rip has... Oh, okay. So Rip should try to get this one, which is this one right here. He's gonna make another mech. We got the mech chain. So Incuggarch is probably gonna try to deny Rip from ever getting this one right here. I mean, with his mountain tile, Rip can try to capture and then just always hitting here. It'll be really hard to take out a mech from the mountain, because with an infantry, like, you do very little damage, and a tank you just get, you know, bazookaed back by the mech onto your tank from a road. Maybe from the city it's gonna be okay. And these penguins, this one especially, is not really sitting here to point at the comm tower, but more like, you know, 4 tiles away, so as a, I'm gonna interrupt the comm tower. But it's probably also to be, oh, it's not even in range of this tank. So this tank can come and hit here for free, I think. Well, kind of, because maybe with a max force, it could get a hit. So we'll see. Tank actually gonna come here and interrupt this infantry. I mean, yeah, would have been nice to get the comm tower first. Got the anti-air for the copter. I'm gonna try to go for this comm tower. So Rip is gonna try to get these 2 comm towers. So a 3 comm tower versus 1. And hasn't gotten this city yet, Rip, while Incuggarch has. But Rip has this one, which Incuggarch doesn't. I mean, income-wise, Incuggarch is above by 3k. Yeah, at the end of the turn, Incuggarch is above 3k, and that's fair because he has this one, which Rip doesn't. But then I mean, that compensates here because Rip has this one and Incuggarch doesn't. But then there's this one. That's one. And then you have this one too. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's just a lot of cities around. Well, this one also, Incuggarch has. There's one here also, like there's 2 here that Rip doesn't, and 1 from Incuggarch. So, oh, then you have this one too. This one Incuggarch has and Rip doesn't. So I'm not sure what the math there adds up, but it's kind of all over the place. But it looks like, you know, apparently Incuggarch has 3 more than Rip. We got the mech starting a capture, and a mech backing it up. This copter is gonna attack here in range of the anti-air. And this tank is gonna block this tank. Very interesting. Start a capture, and I mean, this copter is probably dead because I don't think Incuggarch can block it. So I'm gonna start a few captures and just like bring everything. Incuggarch is gonna bring every tank in this area towards the middle probably to like defend, like just concentrate everything in this area, either to pressure the space or maybe the HQ or whatever. It's just this area is pretty vulnerable, you know. And this is very interesting because you block here and this tank, you know, it can't move. So, well, I mean, it can, but this way. So it either hits this tank to just sit and then you don't build a unit, so you base block yourself, or you move it away and make a unit, but then it's like, you know, that tank is still gonna be sitting there. So it's really blocking the access of the space into this area, which is pretty important. Got another tank and another copter and just double infantry and another tank here. So Incuggarch is kind of like pulling everything from here. You remember there was like tank presence here, trying to deny the comm tower and whatever, and now just kind of shifting everything over here. Yeah, that's the kill there with the anti-air. I got max force, our first power. So this tank actually is going to come this way and smack at that tank, and I'm gonna stop this capture to stop this capture by Incuggarch. Attack the tank. Recon, I think, gets its first hit. Takes out an infantry. Takes out that one. It's gonna start this one, which I think he'll get. Get some more hits. This tank and this tank over here. It's gonna start this capture. And this comm tower. And this city capture. And it's gonna interrupt there. But it's still base blocked here. Well, sort of, you know, can still go this way. And it's gonna put this infantry here so as to deny any, I guess, weird shenanigans. I think this copter and this tank, or this tank can kill this one, and then this one can come and sit over here. But with this infantry, that's not possible. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, no. So yes, this infantry saves Rip from getting absolutely base blocked from, you know, both sides. So let's see if Incuggarch uses max force or what's it called? Max blast. So I got a few infantry kills, and oh, actually it goes for max force. The AC is killing me. I'm gonna turn it off a bit. Okay, this anti-air is getting hit, and it's probably gonna die. And this tank dies. And same thing here from Incuggarch, trying to avoid a base block thing. Attacks the tank, interrupts this one, but it looks like Rip is gonna get this comm tower and this city. Another copter tank here. Incuggarch really doing making a lot of vehicles here. And another one here. And just infantry from the two base. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of pressure here on the one base, like from Rip. I mean, from Incuggarch to Rip. Huh? So Rip gets the comm tower, gets the city, gets another city. Incuggarch is still above 2k in income. Gets the tank kill, infantry kill, another recon shot there. This tank is going to base block itself to take out that tank. Anti-air, you always want to save them, repair them, and then, you know, 5 HP max tank with 2 towers, I think kills a copter or something like that. Anti-airs are really good, even injured anti-airs are really good. Always gotta repair those anti-airs. So I got our first copter from Rip. And just positioning more defensively here, using these forwards and stuff. It makes another anti-air. Yeah, because this one will probably get sniped. Those copters are really strong. So, boom, tank hit, tank kill, and we're gonna get a tank strike. Ooh, wow! And that's just because Rip has 2 comm towers. There's no power involved. Wow, 5-5. Now I got a max force. Tank is gonna. Oh, I know what's gonna happen. The copter is gonna come in. Yeah. and it's just, yeah, I think this base is gone. Let's see if Rip can do the same, or if, or if Incuggarch can make something to hold this base. A medium tank, yeah, makes sense. But this base from Incuggarch is like very lonely now. It has all these injured infantry, this tank, which is probably gonna die next turn, and then a medium tank. You have all these tanks, all these infantry coming towards it. But Rip now has to really rush to get this base, because if not, he's gonna be at an enormous disadvantage of, this base being of Incuggarch. And so then it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases versus 1, 2, 3 bases. So let's see. He sacrifices a few units, I guess, to get charge. Uses max force. And this would probably be to block this medium tank in. Let's see. So puts the recon. Look at the recon. It got a few shots, and now it's a blocker for the medium tank. Talk about value. And this tank is gonna block from that side. I'm gonna take out those infantry. And I mean, does a 5 HP tank kill a recon? I think it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe you sack the infantry and makes a bomber. The bomber is obviously for the medium tank. I think it like one-shots, or I don't know, I think it one-shots with a power. Without a power, it probably doesn't kill it. Might be wrong. I mean, it's max with 2 towers, so the firepower is crazy. So we got our anti-air healing up, and yeah, just bases. It's done. Incuggarch is gonna clean up here. Oh, okay, uses the medium tank, so is actually base blocking himself with the medium tank. I'm just gonna retreat the tank. I'm just gonna clean up over here. I'm gonna start a capture. And just moving everything towards the middle. Because this stage is done, and now you have to move to the next stage in which Rip still has to unlock the space. So there's a matter of time here. Incuggarch is already going to the next stage of like, I got the base, now I'm going for the middle, I'm going for the next things, or maybe even like save the base, and Rip is trying like, oh, I need to get that base quickly. So I was gonna block here, block there, probably gonna clean up these infantry as well. And this bomber is not in range yet, so yeah, gonna need another turn. But this tank, I mean, it would need a super to hit this tank, so I think Rip is gonna be fine here. Let's make another copter. Unit value, unit wise, unit count, I guess it's looking slightly better for Incuggarch, at least unit value wise. But this bomber is going to take out this medium tank in one shot almost, so that's going to change probably. Now there's going to be all of these captures, which are going to take all because all these are injured, but there's going to be a massive income swing, at least for a little bit. At the same time, Rip is going to flip these. Medium tank takes out the tank. Base blocking again. And it's starting to kind of pressure the HQ here. Since a few tanks attack. These copters are like covering them and kind of like consolidating everything here. Lots of mechs by, I guess 3 mechs by Incuggarch. And has never been able to get the city actually. So let's see, we're gonna get some flips here. So for now, it looks like Rip is gonna have the income advantage. And this medium tank, let's see if it one-shots. Ooh, almost. But there you go. Medium tank is down, and we got the infantry starting to capture. So in reality, well, you know, at the end, the base flipping was almost at the same time because Incuggarch had an injured infantry, so it took him an extra turn. And you know, next turn Incuggarch will get it, and then the next turn Rip will get it. So they're pretty similar. The only thing is that Incuggarch has been able to position in the middle much earlier, and so has all this presence over here, while Rip is kind of like towards the sides, you know, like very defensive. So there's a matter of time and positioning there that matters a lot. Gets a hit here, has to get very defensive over here, because you know, you can't just like come here and sit around here and then you get hit by all these vehicles and you lose all the vehicles, and all of a sudden you have nothing to push or defend and the game is over. So you gotta be very careful. I got 2 anti-airs from Incuggarch, you know, has to deal with these copters and the bomber especially. Bomber is very dangerous. So now we see all these flips going back. I mean, Incuggarch did get a turn of less income. I think it was like 23 income. But now it's gonna flip everything, so Rip is not gonna get the 30k or something that he had. Looking at this city over here, Incuggarch, so it's probably gonna start getting these. So I think Rip is gonna have to divert something to stop it. And just pulling back from here and trying to consolidate a bit more in the middle. Bringing the anti-airs. No more tech ups so far. Rip is actually gonna flip one of these and the base and that city. So currently Rip has the income advantage, but then again this one's gonna get flipped. It's crazy. The income just flips every turn, but especially just because of this trade thing, this base trade thing. So they're just flipping so many cities every turn. And now we have this big stare down in the middle, of which I feel like Incuggarch has a better position, but has to be careful because if he slightly positions incorrectly, he could just get slaughtered here. You know, just a bunch of first strikes here could be deadly. So Incuggarch is going to go for an attack to get the charge for a max force. This means he's gonna go for an attack. You don't do that because you're gonna sit back. He's going to attack. So let's see what Incuggarch does here. Gonna sacrifice that tank to wow. I did not know that was a kill. And get that infantry. Okay. So I guess this infantry kill means that this infantry can get the city. This tank kills another infantry. Take out the anti-air? Yeah. And oh wow, takes out that infantry. And leaves it at 2. Takes it out with the anti-air. Takes out the anti-air with a tank. This is what I was just saying. Look at all these first strikes. Ugh, they're deadly. Like these 8-3 trades. But this city is nice because it's 4-7 and then Rip heals up to 6. So then Rip would end up winning this trade actually. And didn't actually go for all first strikes. They'd have to go for some 2-hit KOs. So this tank is alive. This tank is alive. But Incuggarch is targeting a lot of the infantry and this mech. Okay, he's gonna hit that tank. So there's 4 copters from Incuggarch here, while Rip has 1 anti-air and 1 copter. I mean, he has another one here, but it's too far. So there's only 2, like, air, you know, two units of air defense from Rip, and there's 4 copters. So that's when it gets tricky. It looks like Incuggarch is gonna have like this air superiority. Or like copter superiority because Rip has the bomber, but you know, bomber and copter can't fight each other. Like if Rip sends the copter and the anti-air to kill copters, then they both get killed next turn, and then Incuggarch has 2 copters with free reign kind of thing. Also, if Rip kills the anti-air, then this bomber can do whatever it wants. Although we have this other anti-air here and another one, just in case. That's bombers. This city hasn't been captured yet, or this one. That's funny. So we got a max blast. Oh, I mean, that turn was deadly by Incuggarch. So many kills and just like first strikes. You can see unit count wise, unit value wise, there's a pretty big disparity there. So let's see what the max blast can achieve for Rip. Got a tank kill there directly from the base. Another tank. Is that a kill? Ooh, that's probably because of the 10% defense. But gets it there. You see, that trade is pretty nice. Finish it off with a mech. Copter down. Another copter down. It's gonna get that tank and smack that anti-air. And almost. It's gonna finish it off. Takes that one down. It's gonna get a first strike on that mech. Takes out that tank. Start a few captures. And this tank is gonna kill off this anti-air. Yeah, okay. And it's gonna start here, which will probably get interrupted. Oh, actually, Incuggarch never went for this capture over here. So, remember the values? Look at that. Insane. Look at that max blast. It like flipped the table right there. That was brutal. And now Incuggarch has no power also against a super, you know? Like the stats of Rip are insane right now, and Incuggarch has like the normal max 2 tower stats with no power. So it definitely becomes very awkward when you have to attack into someone with a very strong power active and you have no power. So let's see what Incuggarch can do. There's a big unit value difference. I think it was at like 160 and dropped down to 90 something. That was pretty big. You got these mechs shooting at stuff. Copters, gonna attack the copter. Yeah, almost kills it. Wow. It's gonna finish off. Another copter down. Stop that capture. Stop that one. Stop that one. And is he gonna go for the HQ? I mean, probably, right? Might as well. This whole pressure over here is definitely very threatening to Rip because here is the HQ. It is also where the 2 base is, but it is very awkward because of this little choky little pathway, you know? So maybe Incuggarch is deciding which penguin will actually start the HQ capture, and it is this one. It's actually the one that was gonna go here, or that I thought that was gonna go here, and now it's over here. And it's gonna start that capture and block over there. So Rip is gonna finish off that one. Attack there. Bomber. Still getting kills, the bomber. I'm gonna repair the anti-air. Take that out. It's gonna obviously stop the HQ capture because if not it's game over. The anti-air, it doesn't reach. And Incuggarch now has a lot of charge, so this can be dangerous too for Rip. Has to be careful. Because this anti-air, for example, reaches reaches the bomber just naturally. 6 movement. But can use a max force. See what he does. He's gonna sag there. He's gonna go for the wow, it's a one shot. Just max things. Finish that off. And okay, so went for all the attacks that didn't require more attack to get more charge, and uses max force. Mech, wow. Wow. A mech blew up that tank, and oof. Finish that one off. Oof, and that tank is gone, and this tank is gonna finish off that one. Yeah, that tank is gone. It's gonna stop the capture. And I'm gonna start it again here and just block and just bring everything. Whew. Our unit values have gone dramatically low. We were at the 100 and something, almost 200s, and now we're at like 60 something and 100. And unit count wise as well, we were in the 30 somethings and now we're in the 20s. I mean, you can see, no, it's like very little, but there's so many units here from Incuggarch in the HQ, and it's really tricky for, like really awkward for Rip. Has such low unit value, so you have to like invest. Let's see. Okay, Rip resigns. Yeah, I think because Rip has to interrupt the HQ capture, and to do so he needs to use like these 3 units, like this infantry here, this tank here, and anti-air here, and then bring these, and then I'm not sure. I mean, could just keep sending stuff to like take these out, but there's a lot of vehicles from Incuggarch. There's also these mechs. They've really gotten a lot of value, to be honest, because Rip has to invest a lot to stop the capture, like a lot of vehicles, because there's no infantry almost here. And then Incuggarch can keep taking out all those vehicles and just increase this unit value difference. I'm not sure that a max blast by Rip would have achieved much. Like maybe you try to take out this tank, so this copter can take out this copter. Maybe like this infantry here, anti-air takes out this one. I mean, you just can't take this one out. I think you're gonna do anti-air here. Maybe infantry takes out this one, and then you bring this anti-air to kill this copter, and then tank takes out this one. But then all of these are gonna die because there's 3 tanks, 2 mechs. Like even though you lose the copters, you still have all these tanks and mechs to take out all those vehicles, and it'll just be like a big snowball here. And I think Rip maybe thought, yeah, it's inevitable that Incuggarch will get the HQ. So that was really good. Where did things go wrong? Let's see. I think the most decisive thing would probably be somewhere around here, where Incuggarch kind of pulled everything and it went like all in to take out the base. And I guess Rip was like forced to play more defensively. Maybe it was because of making the tank later, like the first tank later. I don't think that's the case, but I don't know, maybe. It's just this whole play over here by Incuggarch to really pressure this base much earlier. And although at the end they kind of got it at the same time, the bases, Incuggarch was able to just start moving everything more towards the middle, get a better position. Well, you know, Rip was trying to, like here, this is a great position by Incuggarch, and Rip has to take this out and kind of play more defensively. And then the last thing that was really good by Incuggarch was here, the max force turn that he does here. Oh yeah, this one, boom. And so he gets a lot of kills, a lot of first strikes, but also a very good position. Like he went from here against a defensive into a first strike to get a better position here in the HQ to go for the HQ capture, and also like taking control of this area, which is limited by these mountains. So now Rip is like split, has, you know, the 2 base stuff coming over here, which is very limited. Like there's these 2 tanks and this infantry only, and then all the other ground forces are over here. They're split because there's mountains and then the Incuggarch forces. So it really forced Rip into split the armies and not being able to coordinate. Then he got a really good super there, like insanely good super, but Incuggarch was able to still get the necessary hits and kills and yeah, get that position, get the HQ capture. That was ridiculous, insane. Okay, our second game on the list is going to be Voice of Akasha versus this player. I'm telling you guys, you know, relax, chill back. This is gonna be a long video. I mean, you probably saw. I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. It's like 2 hours, maybe a 3-hour long video. It's gonna be a long one, but I feel like these videos all deserve their their coverage. You know, these were all really great games, really great players, and it looks like a really great map too. So, you know, props to the tourney organizers. These were really great games, all of them. So sit back, relax. I don't know what you're doing, if you're having a meal or having coffee or whatever. If you're in the bathroom or just laying in bed, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, this is gonna be a long one. I mean, I'm not saying this match specifically, just like this whole thing is gonna be pretty long. I'm sure no one's gonna watch it all in one go, so you know, there's no harm in watching it by pieces. Watching one match one day or another match another day, but I really want to cover all these matches because they were really good. So we got Voice of Akasha here, who is very famous in our community, has this reputation of being like unbeatable. I think he was like beaten once or twice and like all the records or something like that, something ridiculous. Just like a very strong win streak. And then we have this other player, which I think both of them come like from very, like, they're like these old gods kind of thing. You know, they used to play back in the day. I'm not really sure. I'm more of the earlier wave, just from last year, from 2022. I don't even know the years now. Yeah, 2022. But Voice of Akasha, I think, has been in the community like since forever. And this player, I think, also. And we have Max against Sammy. So if I didn't say before, this is a tier 2. And you have Max, Sammy, Olaf, Eagle. I think Olaf could be pretty good. There's a lot of income and 2 towers and lots of brawling. You can get snow. But, you know, the first one we got 2 Maxes. Now we got another Max and we got a Sammy. So we'll see what Sammy can do. Let's get right into this one. So we got Max versus Sammy. Here we see again the little city skip by Voice of Akasha, or VOA, while Sammy goes straight for this capture, so no skipping. Another one here, no city skipping, city skipping. And we got our first mech. So, I mean, it's probably going to be really tricky for Sammy here. Usually people think that Sammy is really good in mixed space, but it's not necessarily the case. It just depends a lot on the map. Especially because if it's very open, it means it's more of a tank land. And Sammy likes it when it's more like choky, you know, more, you can go more methodic, because her best units are slow, infantry, mechs, and then artillery backing it up. They're slow, and so if it's open and you can have high mobility, then that's much better for tanks, and it's gonna be very hard for her to keep up with her units. So he's gonna go over here, and this mech is looking like it's staring at these 2 cities. We got another mech over here, and we got a tank from Sammy. And our first tank from Voice of Akasha is going to be from the 1 base, 1 airport side. It looks like he's sending one here, and this one's probably going to go over here. Tank comes over here. It's going to probably try to deny these cities from Sammy. And we got this tank here. And another tank over here. So the problem that always happens with your 1 base sides, whenever you make a tank on your 1 base side, it means less infantry. Like right now you can already see there's 3 infantry on it, and there's a mech, no? But there's 3 infantry, 1 tank, and that can become a problem because if you don't have infantry to capture, then that can be a big problem. You're not gonna have the income needed to then build stuff in other places or to defend the base. We're gonna get a first strike here. I think, yeah, it's like undefended. It's gonna get that kill there. It's gonna start a capture. So we're forcing this is what Sammy really needs to do, is force Max into using vehicles, like using his tanks to interrupt a capture, to hit at an infantry, so that Sammy can get a first strike onto a Max tank. Because of Max first strike tank, a Max tank first strike onto a Sammy tank, it's like destroys it. It's just, there's just such a big firepower disparity there. You have this 120 firepower by Max versus 90 firepower of Sammy. There's 30 firepower of difference. It's pretty big. So even from a first strike, it might be like an equal trade for Max, like if it's from our planes. So like this, and now Sammy can hit from the city. The thing is that Voice of Akasha has another tank over here. It's gonna get a hit here, and yeah, it's gonna make another tank. So if Sammy goes here to attack this tank, it's gonna be a first strike, but then that tank is gonna die without any coverage because there is no tank or mech or copter in range. And just spamming infantry over here. Got a few captures. It looks like Sammy is falling behind in the capture game in income against Max. Just gonna go for this kill over here, so interrupting the capture. Sammy just going like very aggressive now, going for a lot of attacks, trying to get a better position so that it doesn't become a tank warfare, which she's gonna be at a disadvantage. And makes it a T-copter. Very, very odd. But yeah, has to fall back over here. So like killed an infantry, but then lost an infantry with no retaliation. So it was like a 1 infantry for 1 infantry kind of thing. But yeah, Sammy had gone for this hit over here, which ended up being like kind of okay for Max, I guess. I'm just gonna attack this infantry. Attack over here. I'm gonna get some blockings. So it's looking very comfortable for Max, to be honest. Just making infantry and tanks is taking control of so many places of the map, like has control of this area. Completely shut down any pressure over here. Like, well, yeah, I mean, this infantry is gonna die, but it's fine. There isn't really any infantry from Sammy here to threaten any captures. And over here as well, like this tank, Sammy can't go for this first strike because it's gonna be a negative trade. So it's looking very rough for Sammy, to be honest. Like very quickly, you know, this is barely day 8. We got another mech. And a position over here, and the game is over. It says it ended in a draw, but it's not a draw. Here, our Sammy player, timed out. So ran out of time, and the game booted this player. But it's considered a loss, you know. It's like this player was defeated, and it really is. It's looking very, very grim. It's looking pretty bad for Sammy right here. So that's the first win for Voice of Akasha, and we had the first win for Incuggarch in the previous game. I think it's just very tricky for Sammy here. Although it's a mixed base, tanks are so prevalent here. They have so much coverage, and they have pretty free roam. Like they can just go here and go here, and they can just kind of front switch around. Like the best place for Sammy is like here, like the 2 base, because of these mountains and stuff. But she'll still be walking into this very open area with low defense terrain, and she can just get massacred by tanks from all angles. So very complicated. Maybe the best thing would be like Sammy here walking through, you know, this area kind of thing. It's just a very different approach from Sammy would have to be used for this map. As you can see, this whole area is very open, so anything around here is going to be tank land for sure. Maybe like artillery, infantry, mech plate like towards here and try to go for the base kind of thing. Try to go for the HQ maybe, but HQ is kind of far, it's over here, so yeah, difficult for Sammy. Our next match is going to be Talose versus our Sammy player. Talose is another really top player. I think he doesn't play Global League anymore. He used to. He left it. He left his rating at like 1400, but if he played Global League, he'd be like 1600 easily. And is a very big tournament player. Just has won a lot of tournaments, but just also consistently gets to like the finals or semi-finals kind of stage. So a very, very strong player. Very methodic. Let's get into this one. We got again the Sammy versus Max. No city skip here from Sammy again, and Talose will do the city skip. I think the city skip is to get this one to then get this chain right here. So it's like you lose 1k, but you speed this one up. I'm not sure what the math is there, how much you gain or lose. But it looks like Sammy wants to go for the city. Needs the fast income first. Let's see if Sammy makes a mech this turn. Makes a tank, so opens a tank this time. And we got a tank from Max, from Talose, over here in the 2 base, and a recon on the 1 base 1 airport side. Moving in over here, we got the tank from Sammy over here, and makes an earlier T-Copter this time. Maybe this time the T-Copter can speed up mech deployments or something. If mechs can be shifted, can be like flown over here to these mountains, it could be pretty good pressure onto the space. Maybe that's the plan. We got the recon over here. This recon is going to force a tank or a mech from Sammy. And it's going to go for the same little 2-hit KO from the last match. That's funny. And starting the capture. I wonder if the same is going to happen here with Talose. Tank, infantry, brings a tank, makes a tank. Makes a mech here defensively. Probably to cover this infantry or this infantry next to him from the recon. Talose gets both comm towers. This recon is moving over here, it seems like. And oh, so it goes for this tank hit over here, but doesn't send the infantry. Oh, because maybe is afraid of this. This T-Copter could come here, drop a mech, or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is wrong. This actually should have 7. So this T-Copter would be able to get in here to this tile and then put a mech here, for example. That would be pretty strong. Yeah, if Talose didn't put this infantry here, it could be pretty deadly. So it's gonna go for a 2-hit KO there. Guaranteed with Sammy. Gonna go for a second comm tower. And move this mech. And makes a tank here to cover these, but this infantry is not covered, so this one is probably gonna get shot at by the mech, by the recon. And it's gonna pull back over here, because yeah, all these tanks, yeah, similar to what Voice of Akasha did, just bringing tanks to back up this tank. And same happening to Sammy here, having to pull back and just make more mechs. Yep, that's the hit. And oh, because it's a triple chain. Yeah, I just realized. So you skip this city with the infantry to go here, and you go to this one, and then you go to this one. So it's a triple chain. It's not bad. And yeah, just playing conservatively here by Talose. Sammy's gonna interrupt the comm tower capture to get this 2-hit KO there. I'm not sure if it's worth it. It's just very aggressive playstyle by Sammy, like early on with all the infantry, trying to take out all the infantry, as many infantry as possible. But this is too close to the 2 base. Like this can get first struck here, and it's gonna be a pretty bad trade for Sammy. And then Talose has backup from this one. So I'm not sure. I think maybe Sammy should have gotten the comp tower, so then she can have at least 110 tanks instead of just 100. He's gonna move forward here with this little blob of army, 2 mechs, 1 tank, T-copter kind of thing. Okay, so Talose interrupts this capture to get these hits right there. And he's gonna attack here, he's gonna attack the mech. Oof, look at that trade. It's gonna interrupt that. Whoa! Oh, I guess it's because of the 2 towers. Has enough firepower to drop it down to 3. So actually interrupts the Sammy capture. And it's gonna take that one out. Makes an anti-air. This anti-air is probably to like take out the T-copter, or just be able to one-shot stuff. You know, be able to one-shot a mech to then enable another hit. So yeah. Mech is actually gonna shoot at the recon. I thought it could. Maybe it should have shot at the tank. But now that there's a lot of pressure here also on the one base of Sammy. You have this tank pointing, you have this tank over here. And we got a lot of tanks from Sammy over here. Like one has to go over here to defend this capture. There you go. Has to pull back over here. And just has to be very careful of here, this tiny blob. I mean, if Sammy can get like first strikes, like these mechs hitting on the tanks and tank hitting on anti-air, you know, it'd be like the ideal world. But this is Talose we're talking about, it's not any player. So it's gonna be very difficult. Talose's gonna pull back from over here, so it's just gonna concede this city, which is totally fine. Move back over here, so threaten this one and the comm tower. And gets the KO there. Oof! Drops it at 1. Oh, this could be pretty bad. Oof! A 9-3, and then this mech is gonna get shot at. Yeah, now Sammy has nothing. And also goes for this hit over here. Oof! Brutal. And takes out that infantry over there too, as well. Oof. Yeah, it's looking very rough for Sammy right now. Sammy's gonna go for this hit over here, take that infantry out, hit with that mech onto that infantry. Eesh. Makes a mech. I wonder if this whole little blob movement thing was to try to take position and try to go for the HQ. And then Talose also saw the opportunity to get all these hits and just went for it. Like this is brutal. Like took out a tank and 2 mechs. Now Sammy has only 1 tank to retaliate against 2 tanks, 1 anti-air, and more tanks coming. Like yeah, it's looking pretty rough for Sammy. I'm not gonna lie. We got a max force now by Talose. It's gonna take out that mech and it's gonna base block here, Sammy. It's gonna attack that mech, take out that tank, take out the T-copter, and finish a bunch of units. And I think sits a tank here and a tank here because afraid of a possible victory march to like not get completely like lose all the comm towers. But it's looking extremely rough for Sammy right now. Makes a medium tank as a, I don't know, I guess as a preventive to shut down any future pressure. I think it's pretty good, especially against Sammy. Sammy's gonna need like artillery or copters or bombers or something to deal with a max medium tank. I don't think even a victory march can save Sammy, and yeah, game over. Again, it says draw, but in reality, our Sami player timed out and lost. And so this is a win for Talose. Yeah, I just think Sami does not have the best chances in this map. I think Max can be very strong. It's just very open. The tanks are so predominant. You can see them shifting around. Even like you invest one here and you see pressure on the other side, boom, very quickly you can send it and it can be covering the counterattack, whatever, you know. It's very volatile, especially I feel like the center is pretty strong because of that. If you kind of control the center, you're able to shift the tank to one side, to another, to cover the pressure on one side or to cover an attack on one side. Yeah. I don't think there was any moment that went really bad for or that like things went down for Sami. It wasn't looking very good from the start. But for sure, this little thing right here, this little mini blob, allowing all these first strikes was pretty bad. Like the center hitting there, the tank hitting there, and then taking out this mech. Like this was completely neutralized, and now there were no cards left for Sami pretty much. Okay, now we got our match number 4. We got Incuggarch versus Talose. Both of which they both had a win. Yeah, because Incuggarch had one against Rip and Talose won against the Sami player. So both of them have, 1 point or whatever. Let's see who can get this one. This would be pretty big, like they're both disputing here who can get the first 2 points of the first round. It's a pretty big deal. And they both went with Max. They went with Max before, so they went with Max again. Let's see what happens here. We see again the city skip here by Talose. We'll probably see the same by Incuggarch. Yep, going for that 3 chain right there. I'm sticking with the colors that the players picked. I like to stick with that, players, I feel like they pick colors with an intent, maybe, because it's their favorite color. So I try to respect that, unless it's like very they're too similar, like the colors are way too similar, so I'll change them. But for now, it's been okay. No, like red, purple, I think is fine. Let me know if there's any color that it's too similar. Like for example, if there's a match that it's like Yellow Comet and Amber Blaze, I'm gonna change that because that's way too similar. Those are both like yellow/orange. They're just way too similar. But I feel like this is fine. So, okay, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I started talking and then I just start clicking too much. So we got our first tank from Talose over here from the 2 base, and our first tank from Incuggarch from the 2 base. So like a mirror kind of thing. Let's see, Talose can make another tank now. Yeah, makes one here. I think Incuggarch did what Rip had done earlier of like not making a tank like as soon as he had the money and just made another infantry, and that's why we have this 2 tank versus 1 tank, which is going to be now 2 tanks versus 2 tanks kind of thing. So both moving the tanks into the middle and both also making these tanks from the corner. Very funny. They're mirroring each other. Both have the same things in mind. But Talose is able to move this tank here into the middle, which Incuggarch is not going to be able to do it because he can't just put this here because it's going to get first struck. So there is going to be a variation now. Also, this tank, in range of this one from a silo, very like inviting Incuggarch to attack, but then can probably get the kill here. So, and there's also no tank chain from Incuggarch. So Definitely should not go for that, I feel like. I'm gonna go for the comm tower. So I'm gonna go for this interrupt, so skipping the comm tower cap to interrupt there. And it's actually gonna use the tank to interrupt and take out that infantry. Huh. Interesting. Giving up a tank in order to take out an infantry. Because I guess this doesn't reach, but this one can hit here. Yeah, boom, first strike. And it's gonna interrupt here. I'm gonna start the capture. And it's gonna attack over here because this tank doesn't reach. This one's injured. So far, Talose has a much better presence in the middle. I think just because of that first tank that was able to get here. This was like an extra infantry that I think came from here, which Incuggarch hasn't. He had sent it up over here. Probably was this one. But Talose has this city, which... Talose has this one, which Incuggarch doesn't. And it's probably gonna never get it, because now it's just... units are starting to come in, and yeah, it's kind of impossible. So Incuggarch is gonna get this interrupt over here. Will he interrupt the capture to interrupt this capture? Yep. Looks like, you know, these players, they never want to give up this comm tower for free, the little side comm tower. I find that very interesting. And makes a medium tank. This is really early for a medium tank. But it's probably because he kinda gave this tank away, you know, lost this tank, and so is outnumbered in tanks. There's 3 tanks from Talose and another one over here. And Incuggarch only has 1 over here and this one, and they're split, so kinda needs more than just a tank from this base. Okay, he's gonna pull back this tank here and makes a medium tank. Okay. I don't think this medium tank is in like a defensive medium tank because there's no tanks here pressuring or anything. But it might be more so to like counter this medium tank, maybe to go towards the middle. To not give up the control of the middle pretty much. Because with this, Incuggarch can just move in and take control. But if Talose has a medium tank to counter it, then he can't do that. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna get this mountain capture, which Talose hasn't been able to. Medium tank moves here, kind of like protecting this tank and overall this region. Takes out this infantry. I mean, this kind of sucks to have to invest a whole tank to stop these captures. Ideally, you know, you don't have to. You can use the tank to have more presence. It definitely feels like Incuggarch is like at a, you know, with less tanks, and maybe because he lost this one and has this one over here. But I guess he decides like it is worth to stop this and to get these cities. I mean, it is 2 cities, so. And once you have them, it's really hard to flip them. Talose gonna go for this one over here, which I think is unstoppable. Yeah. Wow. So Talose is like, okay, I'm not gonna get that one. I'm just gonna steal yours from that side. Medium tank comes in towards the middle. A few hits. And 3 more captures. Actually, it's gonna stop the comm tower capture. And this one, so neither of them has this comm tower, so they're both with 1 tower each. It's gonna get a first strike there. I mean, still it's covered by this tank, so. Is he gonna? No, okay. I thought he might interrupt this capture, but no. Okay, so things are starting to like stabilize a bit, and you know, we're seeing where players are going to start to invest. There's a few little hits here or there, but nothing big. These medium tanks are kind of like, they have their little orbits. They're kind of like countering each other. This medium tank actually is going to divert and go this way, so we're going to try to pressure over here and everything. All these tanks as well. So like abandoning the middle pretty much. Maybe because this medium tank is kind of doing that too. He's kind of pointing towards this area. So, and yeah, just retreating everything here from Talose. Makes a copter. There's no anti-air, so pretty good. And makes an anti-air before Incuggarch even makes a copter, which is good because then makes a copter. This moves into position and can already cover anything in this area before the copter can strike for free. So some city captures again. None of them had the com tower. Kind of get an interrupt here, but it looks like Incuggarch is staring at this com tower right here to maybe try to get it. I mean, he's staring at this city right here, and it looks like he's not gonna go for the like to pressure the base or anything. Just kind of consolidating over here, the HQ area, kind of in the middle of like the middle or attacking. And Incuggarch makes a defensive medium tank because of this pressure over here. Now this medium tank from Talose is kind of like sandwiched between two medium tanks. I would assume that Talose is going to make a medium tank or a neo tank. And Copter just moving in. Playing very defensive here, very positional. Not sure like what the other one is going to do. Gets this little free hit here. Well, free hit. First strike. Positions the medium tank just out of range of that medium tank. I mean, with a max force, this could hit here, so definitely tricky. Oh, but makes another medium tank. So there's a medium tank chain. So in case Incuggarch goes for the max force, Talose can hit it back. So yeah, like abandoning the pressure idea here and trying to not give up the middle maybe. Because the thing is that if Talose maybe invests too much over here, then Incuggarch can move this force that he had kind of like right smack in the middle of like pressuring or the middle. He can just like switch down and pressure the base while Talose's troops are over here. So maybe Talose is like, maybe actually no, I'm gonna try not to concede the middle. Medium tank coming in over here, and none of them are getting the com tower. Talose actually putting an infantry here, so Incuggarch can start a capture. Makes a mech. Incuggarch and his mechs. And he's just gonna walk away from that first strike. Makes another medium tank over here. It's like putting units on the sides here so that it doesn't, the base doesn't get blocked again, like we saw on the other matches. Talose position here more defensive, sitting on the city with the medium tank. Makes another copter. Same here, this base can't really do much. These troops are kind of disconnected because of this control that Incuggarch is having over here. But the same thing is happening to Incuggarch over here. He has these troops over here and Talose has all his control, so he can't really connect. It's like we have, you know, four armies. We have like the big armies, like the main army of Incuggarch is here and the main army of Talose is here. And then we got the smaller armies, Talose over here and Incuggarch over here. And what happens a lot in mixed base is like you try to go for certain control of areas on the map. So for example, like the middle, like say for example this area, if Talose would be able to control this area, then he'd be able to join this army with this army and have like one big massive army to like crush this army of Incuggarch, and then maybe go for the base or go for an HQ or something like that. The same could go for Incuggarch, no? So they're both trying to not give up that area. Like Talose is, I'm not gonna give up this area because I don't want him to join armies, and Incuggarch is like, I'm not gonna give up this area because I don't want him joining armies. These medium tank, these infantry walls, just massing up units. So now we got Talose turn. It's gonna go for some infantry kills over here, investing a few vehicles over here to take out some infantry, and it's gonna go for the comm tower. It's gonna go for these cities, or for this one, and a copter, which is, is away from the anti-air. It can't be hit because there's rivers and mountains. Again, this army stuck there. Sending a tank over here. Doesn't look like he's trying to go for the comm tower. More so like avoiding Incuggarch from getting it. But Incuggarch is 4 tiles away, so he can't really start a capture. And getting all those minion tanks and just getting this control over here. It looks like now Incuggarch is pointing at the comm tower, so maybe we'll want to start that capture. It's gonna go for that interrupt. It's not like Max really needs the second comm tower. He's already strong with no comm towers. 120 firepower. You get that 2-hit KO on the cities. But, more firepower never hurts, so why not? This medium tank, I think just, not sure why he put it there. I guess kind of a blocker kind of. I'm not super sure. I think it's to just hold this area, this little maybe tiny pivot, so it can go this way. You got this medium tank from Incuggarch on the back side of this base, which is really annoying, I'm sure. This army is stuck around here. These copters can't really move because there's anti-airs. I mean, there's one that got away but can't do much because there's anti-airs like chasing it down. And it's gonna put some infantry here to block, just so that Incuggarch doesn't go for any base blocking stuff. It's almost like Incuggarch is going for like a little pincer strike, which normally isn't a thing in Advanced Wars by Web. Just because, this is by turns and you attack from tiles, and so if you just attack infantry and infantry, you don't get much done, and then the one that has all the stuff in the middle can just one side to attack and destroy it. But it's definitely creating a very awkward positioning for Talose, because this army can't do much because it's just stuck here. But from Incuggarch, because there's a medium tank, he's being able to force Talose into very awkward positions, because maybe he can threaten, putting something here, and so now Talose has to have stuff here to prevent this from attacking, and have stuff here. Like, what if this tank takes out this one, or I don't know, this medium tank comes here, takes this infantry and puts a tank here. Maybe that's why this medium tank was here, so that it can hit the medium tank in case he goes for that. Here comes a copter. I mean, that'd be the worst, like blocking with a copter, oof. But also these copters are going to be very strong to deal with the medium tanks. Like, you first strike with a copter onto the medium tank, and then the second hit is a medium tank, and I think it's gone. It's a 2-hit KO. Probably does like 3 damage, the copter. More positioning, more mechs, more infantry. Just bringing all these medium tanks really, really close. Makes another one here and another copter. So, what's Talose gonna do now? Income wise, they're like even. Like, yeah, 1k, but it's like insane. And in the other metrics, it's also pretty even. Like, it's pretty hard to say who is winning. It does feel like Talose's position is a little bit more awkward just because there's this medium tank from Incuggarch. You have 1 and 3, and here you have 4 medium tanks by Talose. And so this medium tank is allowing Incuggarch to put pressure and make it awkward for Talose here in this one base area, while he doesn't have the same opportunity here. But maybe he'll make a bomber or like a medium tank here to try to do the same. And here Talose like getting maybe a little impatient, or maybe a little bit scared because Incuggarch is like slowly crawling forward over here. So bringing these copters in, as far, just away from the anti-airs. I mean, Incuggarch would need a super to hit these. And yeah, it makes a medium tank. to try to do this, what Incuggarch is doing here, and also to contest this medium tank, because this medium tank can come over here and shut down all of this, so it's going to need a medium tank to try to counter that. And consolidating back here, putting all the medium tanks in defensive terrain. Okay, so let's see what happens now. That's the end of Talos's turn, and it's the beginning of Incuggarch's turn. I mean, could Incuggarch maybe go for some hits? I mean, none of their powers are active, but Incuggarch's max force is pretty close. Maybe go for a kill here with a max force and then medium tank. No. Maybe a tank kill, medium tank kill and anti-air, and then a copter here. But I think you have this anti-air here. Yeah, I don't know, it's tricky. So Incuggarch actually going for some odd strikes. Let's see, let's put it like that. So all these tanks attacking the copters, and which is, you know, obviously there's a reason behind this, is to get charged. Oh, okay, and sacrifices that copter there. Just gonna take that out. This looks like a very aggressive play right here. And gets the charge enough for a max blast. Went all the way from not having max force to have max blast. And so, what is he gonna do? So this entire reaches this copter now, which is what I had just said, that he needed a max blast, but I guess Talose never thought that Incuggarch would go for something like that. They'd go like sack so much to get these kills. I mean, is it worth to get a few copter kills? I don't think so, because you already sacrificed a bunch of tanks and a copter, so there needs to be more. So I got these medium tanks first strikes, this tank first strike, this medium tank killing an anti-air, this tank kills the anti-air. Yeah, there goes the helicopter. Go up there, and he's gonna get that nut. Oof, wow, first strike. But it gets another, wow, first strike there. We still have 2 medium tanks from Talose on cities, which there's nothing else to hit them, so these will probably get some nice hits onto these medium tanks. And we'll probably have to make like another one, another medium tank. Luckily, also has this anti-air, like at least has one anti-air to deal with copters. Because this is the one base, remember, like every unit you make here, you know, if Talose makes an anti-air, then that means that he might get outnumbered by medium tanks. If he makes a medium tank but there's no anti-air, then the copters are gonna wreak havoc, so tricky. And just accumulates infantry over here to just be annoying and block a potential base blocking kind of thing. So now this is Talos's turn. Are you gonna use Max Blast? Of course. You need to have a great turn here to bring it back, I guess. But you know, Incuggarch sacrificed a lot. Like there was a lot of units sacrificed there, and also put everything in range. It might be a little bit overwhelming. Like there's a lot of units from Incuggarch here, and it might be really awkward for Talose to engage. But we'll see. So it gets these hits here, and it's going to... Oh, it doesn't get... Oh, okay. It's going to get the kill there, and it's probably going to base block. Yep. So Talose actually getting the base block first here. And yeah, just cleaning up over here. All of this is very secure for Talose. Oh wait. Anti-air to get the infantry. Medium tank. Oh, to get the tank. I thought this medium tank would actually hit this medium tank, so it's so that this one can come over here and gets the kill, attacks over there. I guess I'm just surprised that Talose is like investing everything to come here towards the back of the base instead of the middle. Because now these are all gonna live. I thought maybe the 2 medium tanks were gonna be used to hit at medium tanks. But To be fair, there are a lot of medium tanks. Like if you took out like this one, maybe this one, then you have this one to counterattack, this one to counterattack, and the one that was back here as well. Plus the copters, you know? So, complicated stuff. So decides to more like invest here, take out everything in the back, and try to blob everything up to like delay the base blocking cap. Tries to sacks a bunch of infantry here. I still don't think that he can kill that copter. Okay, he's gonna clean up a few units. Oh, there's a new tank here from Talose. And because the super is active, then this new tank will not be able to get a power and attack. And just keeps the medium tanks over here. So instead of going all in over here on the base, or going over here to defend the base, it looks like Incuggarch is going for the HQ. Sacks an infantry there, sacks another one, sacks the tank and the infantry. Sacrifices a lot of units, just a lot of units. Just attacks. And these two copters are like really annoying. They kind of block here. Oh yeah, because this anti-air is 7 tiles away, and Talose needs a max force to be able to take these out. So these are like, because of all these medium tanks are back here and the tanks, they're not able to contribute anything over here. And now Incuggarch has full control of this area, which is the HQ of Talose. And there's just no units from Talose here whatsoever. There's so many from Incuggarch. There's 4 medium tanks, copters, infantry tanks. There's like everything. And this is the 2 base. So in the long run, like this should be good for Talose, but that's in the long run. There might not be a long run because this is the HQ. So like your days are numbered here. And Talose resigns. Yeah. Totally fair resign. I think Incuggarch, they're playing was really good. I think Incuggarch has this insane way of strategy, or just like looking at a map and having options open. It's pretty crazy, you know. Like in the moment where they were stalling, they were kind of like building up and stuff like that. Talose was maybe more determined at stuff. He was like, okay, I'm gonna attack this base, and so send stuff. Well, Incuggarch was like, you know, I might attack this base, and so, you know, that's why Talose went for that, to like mirror that. But then Incuggarch was like, actually, I'm not gonna attack, I'm gonna stay somewhere in the middle. And so Talose was like, okay, then I gotta go back and defend so as to not give up the middle. Which initially Talose had the middle, which is, you know, surprising that he ended up losing the middle. And then even after this whole attack and everything that happened from Incuggarch, Talose decided to go, you know, he was like, okay, I'm gonna take the base, and I'm gonna play very defensively over here to not lose my base. And I'm gonna make a Neo tank also, you know, to protect my HQ in case, just like after the whole base streak kind of thing. But in reality, Incuggarch was like, well, actually, I have other plans. Like, I created all this attack. I joined the armies, like this, the corner army with the big army over here. So he was able to join both armies. And instead of going for the base, which is what Talose probably thought that would happen, and was probably scared that could happen, decided, you know, I'm just gonna go for HQ. I'm just gonna clean up everything. I'm gonna join the armies, clean up, destroy everything over here, and try to go for HQ. Because what is Talose gonna do here? Like this infantry, like this new tank is gonna sit on this city, maybe it's gonna get taken out by medium tanks. Like this whole choke thing, this choke area is really, really annoying if you have control of it like this. There's nothing really that you can do from over here. It's very, very complicated. So insane plays by both, and congrats to Incuggarch for getting the 2 wins. The first one I think it's the first one to get 2 wins. Might be wrong. I think so. So anyways, let's move on to the last game. Okay, we got our last game of this first round. And we have Voice of Akasha, and we got Rip. So Rip, wait, Now I'm confused. Did Rip win the first one? No, because Incuggarch had beaten Rip, and Voice of Akasha won the one with the Sami player. So Voice of Akasha has 1 point, and Rip has 1 point, or 1 win, I guess. No, Rip has 0 wins, so it's 1 and 0. So here we'll see if Voice of Akasha gets, 2 wins, or if Rip gets 1 win, and then they're both, 1 win each. In this case, I am going to change the color, I think. These are pretty similar. Yeah, the brown. This is Brown Desert and Amber Blaze. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change Voice of Akasha. To Blue Moon. Yeah. This is it. I like the contrast of brown and blue. So yeah, this is our last match, guys. So, and this one's crazy. This was the last one to finish too. So, sit back, put your seatbelt on, because this one is wild. Remember, we got Voice of Akasha, insanely good win streak player, famously, undefeated, not really undefeated, he lost a few, but just has a very big win streak. And Rip is also an amazing player. He's 1600s. He made it here, these are the top 5 players. You could say they're the best 5 standard mode players of the site. So, some differences. Rip does go for the skip here, but Voice of Akasha is not going for the skip this time. Small details, but still important. So Rip goes for the tank. I think another thing to notice is that, in both matches, every time the players start on a different position. Because I remember Rip was over here last time, and now Rip is over here. So every time, in each match, they switch positions so that they're not in the same. So you get player 1 in one, and then you get player 2 on the other one. We got a tank from Voice of Akasha over here. There's something off with the tanks, I feel like. Because now Rip can get a second tank, and Voice of Akasha is going to be behind the tanks. Did Voice of Akasha... I might have to check later, but... I want to try to remember after I'm done with this match to check again at the beginning to see if Voice of Akasha did the same thing that Rip had done in the other match, where he didn't make a tank as soon as possible and rather made an infantry. Because if not, then that means that there's like an advantage for this player, because he gets tank chain, like it's a BA tank order. Voice of Akasha going for the second tank over here on the 1 base 1 airport side. They're both getting this city right here, which, as we've seen before, is a little bit contested, but I'm not sure if contested. I think they always get it, and then the infantry ends up dying. They're both kind of like sharing over here, which is kind of cute. Actually, Voice of Akasha not going for the triple chain. He kind of went over here to then get this one, while Rip is doing that. It's gonna tank chain over here on the 1 airport, 1 base 1 airport, and it's gonna make another tank over here. This one is covering this infantry from this tank, and you got these 2 tanks in the middle, the same as this one. This early positioning in the middle, as we've seen before, is so important. This tank is going to move on to this forest. So now, and this tank comes over here. I wonder if Voice of Akasha is going to put this tank over here. Probably not, because then it's in range of 2 tanks. And yeah, that doesn't go for the interrupt here onto this infantry. So let's see what Voice of Akasha has to do. There's like similar decisions that he has to do, and we'll see. He could go for this interrupt over here. He could go for a tank strike. There's a lot of stuff. So I got the com tower, got the 2 com towers actually. So I'm gonna get all the cities first, except this one. Oh, maybe he's considering this interrupt right here. This tank's actually gonna be sent through this little corridor to kill this infantry. Attack there, get a 2-hit KO because of the double tower, and get that capture. He's not gonna attack any tanks, just gonna sit on the HQ. Got the com tower, so now both are with double com tower. And it's gonna get a 2-hit KO. It's gonna take out that tank. Damn. And that infantry. Very aggressive. I mean, this tank is in range here. I guess Rip is going for a lot of attacks with a lot of tanks and just like overloading. There's not enough tanks from Voice of Akasha to retaliate. There's 1 that was sent over here. There's 2 in this corner which have no tanks to shoot at, just like infantry. And so there's only 2 tanks, and they remember, they're from the 1 base. Also, Voice of Akasha base skipped to get 3 tanks, huh? So yeah, there's not enough tanks to effectively retaliate. Like they can, but then they will probably die next turn. 2 Rips tanks. So there you go. Boom, first strike. Oof, 2-9. And another one from the city. Boom, 2-9 again. And flips the city. So Voice of Akasha has the income lead. He's gonna get a nice first strike there. I mean, I think this is more so to delay any captures, because this infantry would probably die, I think, to these 2. They're both kind of staring at this city with these infantry. But yeah, you see that there were 4 tanks involved by Rip, plus a few infantry. The 2 infantry came out alive. 2 injured tanks, but you still have this one, and this one, and this one. So we'll see what Rip does. He's gonna send this tank, take it out, and start a capture, and it's gonna block here with this little tank. And yeah, right there you see that. I think this from Voice of Akasha is more so to injure these infantry and delay any future captures. Start a capture. There's a lot of pressure over here in this area, in the 1 base area from Voice of Akasha. So difficult for VOA here to kind of retaliate. Yeah, this little tank blocking. See what it does. We got these 3 tanks over here. I think that's the main difference. Voice of Akasha has 3 tanks invested down here, while Rip, although he also has a few tanks, but he's able to join because he has control of this area. So all of his tanks are kind of like invested in the same area. And so he kind of has more tanks here because there's 3 of them from Voice of Akasha over here, which don't really have much to do. So Leo is gonna try to get this city. This city is gonna get flipped by Rip. I'm gonna take out some tanks. Yep. This little blocker is incredibly annoying. Like, this tank went down here and had to make a new one. Because if you attack here, then Rip is just gonna send another one. So annoying. And so Rip, maybe a little bit scared from this pressure, pulling back this tank. Gonna heal this one up. And yeah, just taking these defensive terrains. Starting a bunch of captures, just really controlling this area. Now, Voice of Akasha has like 3 armies, so to speak. Has this corner army, this army over here in the HQ, and then like here, you know, like the back, because this is blocked. And there's nothing to take out this tank. Like from here. So Rip very successfully being able to kind of control the map and just the middle and this area, and being able to join and then decide whether to attack here or defend here or there, and forcing Voice of Akasha into having split armies. And we're going to see a max force by Voice of Akasha. Also, base blocked himself to take out that 2 HP tank. So this tank is going to come in and attack that one. These tanks that were over here are going to come in and get a lot of first strikes. It's going to interrupt there. Get a first strike there. Another one there. I'm not so sure about these first strikes though. This defensive terrain. Like, this one is fine, I think. But the city, like, this is going to heal up to 6. And then with a max blast, probably like leaves it at 2 or something. Sitting on a owned city is just so strong. Just because of the repairs. I mean, the defense and the repairs, no? We're gonna start a capture here. And it pretty much went just for a lot of first strikes. So there's like 5 good health HP tanks from Voice of Akasha. And there's like 2 maybe from Rip, because all of these are all injured. And there's these injured. Now you got a max blast. Just before any action, let's look at the value. Like, pretty, I mean, a significant disparity. No, 100 versus like 70 K value difference. Also, Voice of Akasha is threatening this comp tower, which is probably not gonna get it because there's a tank here and infantry. But let's see max blast now. Never underestimate the power of my max blast. So 6 HP. Oh, okay, it was like an even trade in the end. I think it was from a city. Oh, look at that. The anti comes in, takes out the tank. This little sacrifice tank to then get that little hit there. Probably an infantry. And doesn't get the kill. And gets that. It's crazy how like 4 chops it up 4. Like, it's like a, you know, it has like 100 damage. Like the tanks. Like, for every HP that they have, they deal the same damage to another tank. That's insane. These max blasts. Ooh, almost gets the kill. And gets the kill there. And it's gonna block the tank in with a 5 HP infantry. So I'm gonna take that infantry out. So now, oof, get that first strike there. Ah, doesn't die. And takes out that one. Takes out that one. And now all of a sudden it looks like Rip has more tanks. Because this one, again, this one is disconnected, so this one can't shoot at these full HP tanks. You do have this one, no? But it's just one of them. And this one has to, like, I don't know, run around over here. And makes a medium tank. You know, a classic. Panic! Panic buy! Buy that medium tank! There's too many tanks! The problem is these copters. Because these tanks could take out the anti-air, I think. And then this medium tank is going to be like trapped by the copters or something. We'll see. So a city flip over here is gonna take out that infantry. And that one is gonna, okay, it's gonna block the medium tank in with these tanks. I guess this copter is safe. So I'm not sure if Rip can break through here. Doesn't have tanks to deal with this tank, really. Threading this comp tower cap. Flips a city, so now they're really even on income. It's gonna base block again. I mean, well, he did spend all the money, you know, here, tank, copter, infantry. So at this point, it might be a case of, I know that I'm gonna lose the base. You know, let's just try to delay it as much as possible. Because like, Rip here would need to wrap around and hit with a tank. Unless there was a copter, he could like do copter tank and take this tank out and then take the base. But if not, he need a tank on this side and there's an attack on this side. So Rip is gonna send an infantry to sacrifice and a tank and a 4 HP tank and another 1 HP tank and another 4 HP infantry. and gets to clear the base with a full HP tank. Insane. Ridiculous. You'd think, oh, I can't. You know, this base is unlockable. I need 2 tiles. Well, sacrificing units, you just need 1 tile. 1 tile, you're good. Yeah, that's pretty good. And, oh, actually... okay, he uses anti to clear the infantry. And blocks with the tank. Okay, takes out a few infantry. And joins there. I'm not sure for what. Gonna interrupt here. And damn. Yeah, so now we have Rip taking over this base. Super guaranteed. Like, there's nothing here from Voice of Akasha. There's this infantry, which will most likely interrupt here to, like, you know, slow it down. But there's a medium tank sitting on this base. Like, these copters, you know, they're good. They can do, but you're gonna need more than 1 copter. You're gonna need a bomber or something. So this is really delaying Voice of Akasha in trying to flip this base. So now, also pretty low on units, Voice of Akasha, I feel like. Maybe because of all the base blocking. To be fair, also Rip's sacrificing a lot of units. Kind of like compensating there, unit count wise. It's gonna take out that, it's gonna take out the anti probably, yeah. And it's gonna attack the medium tank. Yeah, it only does 2 damage, so you need more, because this is gonna repair to 10. And yeah, it's gonna interrupt there. Wouldn't this be probably better to attack from here? Because here, although you get hit by less, you can get killed from this tile. But if you attack from here, then Rip would have to either kill the infantry or just, you know, capture again, and then you can attack again and try to delay more the capture. So, medium tank is free to go. It's gonna take out that tank. So yeah, boom, down goes the infantry. So it delayed the base for 1 turn. I mean, maybe to be fair, it wouldn't really do much, because if it left it at 4 being at a mountain, it would leave it at like, I don't know, 2 being on the plains. And you need to drop this down to 2 health to delay another turn. So it wouldn't have been possible. So I'm gonna take out that infantry. This city is gonna get flipped, and all of this is gonna start getting flipped by Rip. Although these are injured, you know, it's gonna take a little bit more, but eventually. And Voice of Akasha is like, you know, kind of like stuck to the wall here, trying to, because there's more control in the middle from Rip. There's also this medium tank. Has to be very careful of how he positions the tanks and stuff. Kind of similar to the position in which Incuggarch was. No, I mean the position that Rip was against Incuggarch in that game. It was like kind of stuck here because of the position. He's trying to join here the armies and try to take over the base because he's already lost his. He needs to like speed up the flipping of this base. It looks like Rip is actually giving up the base just by making an infantry. It's like, okay, you can have it. To be fair, also, there's not a lot of infantry, or at least healthy infantry from Voice of Akasha to take this base. Well, I guess that is an option. He starts this capture and joins them, and this is in range of this, so he can just like stop this and start the base capture. So it's gonna send this tank here, take it out with a copter, and it's gonna sit with a tank. I wonder if this is breakable. Especially with a power or something. I think medium tank takes a tank on the base? I'm not sure. But probably, yeah, it's just gonna try to join everything here. Okay, it's gonna attack the tank, really damage it severely down to 2. That's the power of the copters. Makes an anti-air. There's a lot of anti-airs from Rip. Voice of Akasha looking good here on these little cities, but Rip is probably gonna flip. There's 2 infantry here. We'll see. So finally the base is flipped, another city. So all these infantry are gonna take a while to flip, but they are going to flip all these cities. So we're going into that second stage that we've seen before, where the bases they're traded and now they're like kind of colliding into the middle. Just gonna take out a copter and repair the medium tank and the tank and this tank and cover this anti-air. They're just consolidating the HQ. Rip is probably like, I don't want to get my HQ capped again like Incuggarch did. So just consolidating, and actually has a really good income lead, which Voice of Akasha is not really going to flip. This is a different scenario than the one with Incuggarch. So he either flips this or not to like speed the base capture, which I think you should. Oh, actually he's gonna go for a max blast. Damn. Okay. Maybe that's why also Rip went more defensive, like trying to pull back over here because of the fear of a max blast. We'll see what this can achieve. Takes out the tank. This tank all the way from here takes out that anti-air. Oh, wow. Can't believe that's a one shot. Is that maybe because he has 3 towers just for one turn? So I take that out, take that out, take the medium tank out, and that infantry, and get a first strike on that tank. Oh, I was gonna start with this one. Yeah, this infantry's gonna go here for sure. Yeah, okay. Whew. You know, it's funny seeing this. Like this anti could actually go like 2, 4, 6, 8. It could move all the way over here, but is afraid of getting hit by this tank. You know, that's why controlling certain areas of the map is very important. So it has to actually sit here. It's also kind of protecting, you know, still protecting these infantry from this copter, but it definitely kind of shows how awkward this movement over here is. Like this is a kind of like a vulnerable area, as well as it is for Rip over here. Although it is your 2 base, it's like very choky and vulnerable, so you gotta be careful. Such as using that 3-star terrain. So more flips here. Rip is getting to the 32k against 23k income difference. I got a max blast in retaliation. Unicam wise is looking good for Voice of Akasha. We'll see now because this is in the middle of a brawl. You know, value wise, same thing. We'll see. Max blast is very strong as we've seen before. So I think this copter reaches this copter. So boom, go the tanks. Okay, uses this anti to kill that tank. Attacks that tank. He's gonna get a bunch of first strikes. This anti gets this copter and boom, one shot. Oh, this is a one shot. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, actually, this didn't reach. Okay. It's gonna take almost that out. So start this capture and start this one. Although there is this infantry in range to stop it. Oh, actually, never mind. This copter is blocking. So Rip is gonna get this city flip. And this, well, not yet. It's 11 away from getting this city. But Rip is looking good to get these little cities over here. Makes a medium tank. Overall, got a really good counter max blast. Like, really shutting down that pressure. There's still a lot of tanks and copters, but there is a lot of anti-airs here. So Voice of Akasha would have to invest every tank to take out the anti-airs, then use the copter to take out the tanks, to then maybe keep control over this area. We'll see. There's also the fact that Voice of Akasha is not being able to flip the income as fast as Rip is doing is definitely not good. Because Rip is getting like 30k something every turn for these last 1 or 2 turns, while Voice of Akasha is getting 20k. So there's a pretty big difference. Like you need to do a lot of damage. Now you get 3, 4 flips, and another. Oh, actually, now they're even. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Don't mind me. I mean, we do have this flip here next turn and this one. So we're gonna get some tank kills. This anti is going down. Another city capture. Yeah, it looks like Voice of Akasha is just trying to consolidate everything here. Trying to flip stuff, but look, you still have these two cities from Rip, and this one's still neutral, which is really funny, and this one's still neutral. It's been funny how in this map, over the 5 matches we've covered, that there's always a few cities that are left neutral. There's just so much action that you can't even afford investing an infantry there. So Rip is sending a tank here, take that out, take the tank, and probably a copter. Boom, wow, one shot. You see, 6 HP, max anti-air with 2 towers, 1 shot's a copter. We're gonna get some tank attacks. Rip is just gonna allow this city getting flipped. He's gonna flip this city. So now they're even on here, but we'll probably get this one, I feel like. Unless Voice of Akasha dedicates a tank. And sacks that tank because it doesn't have anything else to do. And starts this capture, which is in range with HQ, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna do much. It's just revolving, everything is revolving around here, around the HQ. Like, Voice of Akasha is like, I am gonna pressure the HQ, I'm gonna pressure this weak area, as we've seen before. Incuggarch did it to Rip, and he also did it to Talose. Definitely a very vulnerable area, although it's the 2-base area. It can definitely, if you have enough of an army, you can definitely take control and pressure HQ cap, or just kill units. So I was gonna get this flip. I'm gonna sack that tank. Just gonna probably attack this, yeah, it's anti-air. So really trying to focus down on the anti-airs. But I think this one will die to the 2 anti-airs. And there's just 1 copter. So all that early investment from Rip of the anti-airs really paid off now. So these copters are not annoying anymore. That makes a Neo tank now. Voice of Akasha. Rip will probably still have to make more anti-airs, because we'll see. This gets flipped. This gets flipped again. We're again to the 32k against 24k. 33 against 23, 10k difference. And Voice of Akasha is just only capping this one, and it's 3 turns away from getting it. Needs to start this one and this one, which is kind of far away. This one also. And I think that's it. I think that's the difference. Oh, and this one's still neutral. So, actually it doesn't go for the anti-air onto the copter. Sends the tank. It's gonna take that out. It's gonna leaves it at 3, and it's gonna take it out with a medium tank. That's funny. That makes a Neo tank. With this extra cash that Rip is getting, he's being able to afford bigger stuff. Like Voice of Akasha made this Neo tank and 3 infantry. But yeah, this Neo tank can kill the medium tank. And maybe the medium tank can kill the new tank if the new tank is on like a road or something like that. But yeah, very important to make another Neo tank to contest, to counter the Neo tank and keep shutting down this pressure over here. We're going to start this capture over here, which can be interrupted by an infantry over here on this river tile. This copter is just like sitting here. It can't really do much, to be honest. Like, it has nowhere to go. So Voice of Akasha is gonna get that kill there. Just gonna heal up, attack, and makes another Neo tank, a Neo tank chain. And yeah, obviously goes for the interrupt. Sits on the HQ. And yeah, let's see. They're very close to the supers. I mean, Voice of Akasha has the super ready, and Rip is almost there. There's definitely something. These two players, I feel like they play kind of similarly, to be honest. They're very good at positioning. I feel like Voice of Akasha, at least because I've played against him and I lost horribly, he's just really good. There's a way that he positions stuff so that it's really awkward for you to attack into. Like, he'll take the kills, you know, like conservatively, he'll take a few kills, but positions in a way so that for you to attack is not that beneficial. Like, yeah, you can go for these tank hits here, for example, then you're gonna get hit back by a Neo tank or whatever. Like, you can try to attack this Neo tank, but there's another one. There's just something in the positioning that he's able to achieve there is pretty interesting. Copter here, aiding the infantry, taking that one out. Rip is gonna actually use max force. Okay. So we're probably gonna see an attack. Takes out the tank. It's gonna take that tank out. It's very interesting how Rip uses all the damaged units to get the KOs. That's always very impressive. It's gonna heal this one up. And just tucks the medium tank away from the Neo tank. I'll probably put the Neo tank here in the city. Yeah, more defensive terrain. Makes another Neo tank. Because I guess this one could do max blast and hit here, but that's why it's nice to have both of them and have another one. Oof. Wow, I mean, unit count wise, Rip is like leading strongly, 32 against 24, and has a lot more unit value and the income lead. So Voice of Akasha really needs to like make good use of this position, like of this pressure on the HQ, because the flipping is taking too long, and so the income difference is really gonna catch up. Like right now he got 23, next turn, I mean he's gonna flip a few, like for example he's getting these two, so it's, but still Rip is gonna get 32,000 next turn. So there's like there's an important income difference here, and he actually uses max blast. This takes the anti-air out, takes that one out, takes that tank out, anti-air, takes the tank out, takes that, oh, doesn't get the kill there. Neo tank gets a kill right off the base, and this one too. Both of them sitting on high tense terrain. It's gonna get, I mean, yeah, it doesn't get the kill. And it's gonna sit here. And yeah, really pressuring, and was able to take a lot of the light vehicles from Rip. Now there's only Neo tank, medium tank, and then there's this tank over here. It's kind of like back and forth. It's like very hard to determine who will win this. I'm gonna repair the anti-air. Again, for example, I just said the Rip using the damaged units, like he repaired this 1 HP into 3 and then used it along with an infantry to take out a tank. Now the anti-air can repair. This new tank fresh out of the base gets a kill. To stop that capture. And it's again gonna go for this. It's just gonna keep forcing Voice of Akasha to invest infantry here and getting the kill and repairing. Capturing, killing, repairing. Until he gets the city. At this point, like, I don't know, Voice of Akasha would need artillery, but would you make an artillery as max just to lock this? And also there's a copter, like the copter could just smack the artillery. Yeah, so you know what I said before, the positioning from Voice of Akasha, like very smart, good use of the units and the tiles. Rip can't really counterattack here. He was able to kill this little tank and the tank with the Neo tank here, but that's it. And he has to pull back. But it's still good. I mean, it's kind of awkward. Like he's getting pushed into this little choke here, and the HQ is right there. So finally gets the city, and it's not going to interrupt. Oh wow! Finally gave up the interrupting of the city. Maybe he's a little bit scared of an HQ cap from Rip. He's gonna go in, take out some infantry. He's gonna take out the Neo tank and take out this infantry and block this right here, and starts a capture with a 9 HP infantry. Imagine if this was a 10 HP infantry. that'd be deadly. That'd be like, you need to damage it. I mean, there's still quite a bit of infantry here, so this can join here. Yeah, very tricky. Like, this is scary as rip. You do have the power of almost super, but oof, this hurts so much because now you have to, well, use this new tank here, maybe medium tank there. I'm not sure, but you somehow need to injure this infantry, but at the same time you don't want to lose these two because these two are your only counter to these two neo tanks. Ugh. We'll see what happens. So gets the flip, takes out this tank, and it's gonna sacrifice a tank. Oh, uses max force. Oh, doesn't get the kill with a medium tank. Oh, the tank takes it out. Okay, and then the anti-air can reach this copter, and then I mean you need to injure this infantry for sure. This infantry is moving on. We're moving in here. Yeah, sending the anti-air, and oh, I thought maybe the tank too, but no. Makes another neo tank. This is like, it's like alert. You know, you got your HQ is on the thread. Oof, you need to do something. But after that, it looks really good for Rib. Like every turn that goes by, it looks good for one, and then it look good for the other one, and it looks good for the other one. But the HQ is on the thread, so let's see what a Voice of Akasha can do. It's gonna take those out, and it's just gonna take this infantry and just block these out. I think it's gonna use max force. After already moving like half of the units. Okay, it's to damage this tank, and I think that's it. And maybe just the extra movement. And makes a bomber. This bomber is definitely in response to these, because again, the income difference. Like this income difference has just stuck for such a long time that Rip is able to, you know, churn out a Neo or a medium plus a tank or something over here, so as to maintain the pressure or like support over here, while Voice of Akasha was able to do 2 Neo tanks, and then was just making tank. And just now it's making a bomber, but this bomber is like, it's too far away. It needs like 2 or 3 turns to do something. But this HQ cap is down, it's down to 5, and it is a full HP infantry. So Rip does have to bring the infantry down to 4 to survive another turn. So medium tank kills tank, sacrifices there, and sacrifices. Then this guy just relentlessly sacrificing units all game. This is it probably guarantees this kill, and it's gonna use max force so that this neo tank can probably reach here to this tile and take out that neo tank. And this tank is gonna wrap around and hit this infantry. So now it's at 4. You know, he survives for another turn. He can leave it at 4 and it'll be fine. But yeah, it's probably wise to just take it out. And it's pointing an infantry at that HQ, starting this capture. And Voice of Akasha has no tick-ups whatsoever now, or anything to deal with these 2 neo tanks and medium tank now. So yeah, it's looking very rough for Voice of Akasha. This whole HQ cap has not really pulled through. Maybe with some magical blocking, I think. Take that tank out, you start that capture, and you block some more. Maybe do something what Incuggarch was doing, of like forcing these vehicles to attack and then using the bomber to take out the tech ups. Makes a copter, tank, anti-air. Yeah, that income, the disparity is really catching on to Voice of Akasha. He's gonna, Rip is actually gonna start an HQ gap here. I think it's the first time that he started an H2 cap. And I'm gonna take that guy out, and that one, 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 the one that HQ cap. It takes out that tank, and this infantry, and that infantry, and attacks there, and just attacks everything pretty much. And this medium tank, I mean, this bomber can only attack the medium tank. Maybe with a max force, it could reach the neo tank, but not really, because it would need one of these two tiles, which are being occupied, and there's nothing to take these two out. I think Voice of Akasha would have liked to be able to use the bomber to attack a neo tank, but Rip is not allowing that. And he's more than happy to let the bomber kill the medium tank and then kill it with an anti-air thing. And just makes a T-copter. I think Rip probably knows that the game is over. But also, I guess, you put it here and then you ferry more infantry and really go for the finishing blow onto the HQ cap. And Voice of Akasha, max force, gonna take out. Yeah, Voice of Akasha resigns. GG. Yeah, that was super over. I hadn't realized when I had seen the match originally, but someone had commented on the Discord, and Voice of Akasha actually, what he just did was spell out GG with the units on the board. I thought that was very, very funny, very cute. Just like, a little respect move for winning the match. I think they both played amazingly, and I think it's insane how Rip just uses units, like sacrifices the units to enable kills, and also uses very well all the injured units to enable certain kills. And Voice of Akasha is really good at that, like positioning and make it awkward for you to attack into. Two styles kind of similar, I feel like. They're very good at positioning. They're just really good standard mode players. Congrats to Rip for beating Voice of Akasha, who is like this legend. But they both move on to the second round with 1 win each, so they're even there. So I think it's like Incuggarch 2 wins, Voice of Akasha, Rip, and Talose with one win each, and then our Sami player with 0 wins. I think in this match, where it went wrong, I feel like it's around here. It's kind of like what has happened on every match that we see on this map, is whoever can control these areas, like this one or the middle. There's this whole very big vast area in the map, which is so important, because then you can connect this 2 base with a 1 base, which this would be the more natural connection. But if you can connect with this one, with this corner one, the 1 base, 1 airport, that's really strong. Like Rip here was able to invest here to the middle and then connect with here. And this is a pretty strong area, because you have the airport, you make copters, and then you kind of surround the 1 base and you take it over. I think this game and the game of Talose and Incuggarch really displayed that, like, how the map develops. It's pretty crazy. Just having this early influence, and we could go back, for example. It could be all from these early tanks, like Rip goes towards the middle, Voice of Akasha does the same, but with 1 less tank, so it's able to put this one staring here, and also has this one's over here. And in the mirror scenario would be Voice of Akasha moving here with these tanks over here trying to connect, attacking here. But in this case, what happens is Voice of Akasha goes more defensively, goes like, oh, I'm gonna sit on my HQ in the city, kind of like, holding this kind of ground, like this line, instead of this one, like this. And that's what Rip does. He goes from this one to try to connect like this. So he goes boom. He attacks everywhere, and he takes a few attacks. Like he takes the first strikes from these tanks, but he's able to maintain this position, this general position, this area right here. These 3 tanks from Voice of Akasha are completely like unlinked. They have nothing to do with like maybe shoot at infantry or something. Like they can't really do much. And so from here, Rip is able to just keep killing units, make good use of this position to take more captures, and just keeping this corner base from Voice of Akasha just locked down over here. Eventually he does get a few attacks and eventually gets the base, but Rip gets this one first, The medium tank was able to delay it a lot. Yeah, gets the base. And then because he earned so much time here, now he's able to accumulate like all of the units from this area from Rip are able to go back here to defend the HQ, and same over here, like they can just regroup and try to defend from an HQ to avoid what Incuggarch had done to him, and just brawl it out over here in the HQ with very smart use of units and positioning, and eventually whittle down the units. Also with the little fights here are very important, like the little cities here, also flipping these and these, all that income difference really caught up with Voice of Akasha eventually, because if you brawl and you trade equally and you have a 10k difference in income, then the one that is the 10k above is gonna win. Like, it doesn't matter, you're gonna get more charge, more powers, more units. Like that's just how it goes. I think maybe what Voice of Akasha could have done, I kind of feel like it kind of all spiraled down from the very beginning, this whole control thing. But maybe Voice of Akasha could have, because he sends this tank over here, and I feel like someone else had done it in another match. I think it was Incuggarch, he had sent the tank here. But I think you need to still contest the middle. Like, in case that Rip decides to go here, then you have these tanks to kind of boom, attack the space, or I'm not sure. I mean, I'm definitely not as good as a player as them, so they probably know much better than I do. But anyways, you guys, I hope you like this. I know this is a long video. I don't expect anyone to watch it all in one go. I mean, if you do, congrats and thank you so much. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the viewers already closed down the video because, let's be honest, I see it on the YouTube analytics whenever the match is done. Like the 60 or 70% of viewers just close down the video, and that's totally fine. I just find it funny because, to be honest, I kind of do the same watching some of the YouTubers. Maybe some people, don't want to watch a post-match analysis, and that's totally fair. I am thankful for every single one of you that watches every video. I just hope to be able to give life to these to amazing matches, like these tournament matches, and bring them in a video format, kind of in a commentary format for everyone to watch and entertain and maybe educate. Maybe we can all learn, because I also learn from watching these videos and watching them myself, kind of analyzing them like this in real time. So yeah, I really hope you guys like it. And for those that are still here watching, I'm just gonna throw it out there. There's gonna be an announcement on the 1st of January. I can't say much. I won't say anything else. I'm just gonna throw it out there. What is it? I don't know. You're gonna have to be patient. For now, just teasers. But 1st of January, pay attention. Be on the lookout on this channel. I have a video that's scheduled for the 1st of January. So just pay attention. I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you a heads up that something is coming up. So yeah, video on the 1st of January. So yeah, I just wanted to thank every one of you. This channel has been growing slowly but steadily, and I really appreciate all the love, all the comments, and every single one of you that says that you like the matches or you like this or the different formats. I've tried, I've done the one, the Legend of Tesla or the low funds one, to kind of like switch it up a little bit, try out like non-standard modes kind of thing. But I do want to keep, also standard modes. And yeah, I also appreciate all the people that maybe they just watch videos and they don't put any comments, and that's also totally fine. Anyone and everyone is welcome here. I just hope all of you just enjoy and have a good time and learn from these videos. And whatever you think that I can improve on as well, you know, I'll take it. I'll take any constructive criticism as well. Try not to be rude, please. But yeah, I'm totally open. If you have suggestions or whatever, I'm totally open to that. But yeah, also just so you know, let me know if you like this, like the coverage of the whole round of the tournament. I was considering of just doing one match, but then I was like, all the matches were really good, and I also kind of want to give life to these on-site tournaments that have been going on. So I am considering doing this, like doing the whole round of every finals of the tournament, because maybe of the elimination stages, like the previous ones, there's just too many. I mean, there is too many, but it's hard to pick 1 or 2 games, whatever. But these are kind of cool because they're the finals, so we have the finalists. They're like, you know, the top players. And yeah, I'll just do them like this, like by rounds. And so I'll do this one video with this round 1, and then whenever the round 2 of this Amarriner Cup 1 finals finishes, I'll cover all 5 games of that second round and stuff like that, like of the other tournaments as well. I mean, the Smacky one, the High Funds one, and maybe the Quack ones. I mean, if you're interested in the Quack ones, let me know. I think I might, but I'm not sure if people are interested in the Quack maps. I think they're funny, but we'll see. I mean, you guys let me know. I mean, I do put a lot of time into this, and like I put all these hours into filming and stuff, and then I have to go into editing and kind of cut it through and edit parts out, and because I kind of, you know, I get up, I get water, I get food or something, whatever. But I also have to add all the music, all the songs of the COs every time the turn ends and stuff. So I manually have to do that every single time. So if you do want the Quack Cups, let me know, and I will invest the time in doing that. And I think that's it. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.